Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I practice a carnivore way of eating. This is Pearls of Wisdom in Food. I'm so glad you're here. Let's begin. Oh, what am I going to talk about? Sometimes I hit the camera on button, the video button, and I'm not really sure where the topic is going to take me. But I recently watched a video of a young woman. She could be my daughter, probably not even 40 yet, and maybe my granddaughter. Maybe she's not even 30 yet. I don't know. But she did what I eat in a day, and she eats on a cutting board with a great big knife, and she likes variety like I do. So she has the different meats put on the cutting board, and she almost makes it through all of them. She does share a bite or two with her family if they come around while she's eating and want a bite. But it's very, very interesting. And it's a lot of meat. And, I'm beginning to think that an older person might need to have more meat. I think that we are so stuck in our past with restriction and the weighing, if you come from the Weight Watchers background, or a lot of other food programs where we weigh and we have, like maybe 6 ounces. And if it's a little bit more than six, we get, oh, horrors, too much meat. We're going to die, red meat. But, this woman's clearly packing away over maybe 3 pounds of meat. I mean, 2 ribeyes and some beef bacon. I think it's skirt steak. She called it flat steak. And this ribeye cap, it was thick, almost like a roast, and it had a string around the center. Oh my God, that looked so good. But anyway, maybe we need more meat. Maybe we're not eating enough. Maybe if we ate the amount of meat that we see and hear other people have that are younger than us, we, I don't know, we could, in Sean Baker's book, Carnivore, he thinks that some of us might gain fat because we've been malnourished so long. And he used the word, we get lots of energy from our old diet, and that would probably be the sugar and the carbs, that instant push of energy where you go, wee, and then you crash because it's not a slow burner like having an all meat program. So it's just interesting. Have any of you people that are older ever done an intentional experiment? Now, I know that I eat my OMAD, and I prefer my OMAD. I like my belly to be empty, emptied out slowly over 23 or 24 hours. It just seems to work for me. But a lot of these people that eat a lot of meat and have success in losing, they either switch from OMAD to 2MAD, or they were 2MAD all the way before, and so now they just have those 2 meat meals instead of 2 maybe keto meals. I'm not sure. So have any of you ever put to the test this? I have a friend here in this program. She's a couple of years older than me, and when she eats, sometimes she loses what she might put on by restricting her calories and staying all meat. And then this morning she sent me a picture of the size of the steak, and then she said she had a 4-ounce burger patty with it, and that she lost 0.06 pounds or 0.6 pounds. And so like a little over half a pound. And it's like, maybe there is some merit to it. So my question for all of you today is, have you ever intentionally increased the ounces of meat that you eat, requiring you to go from OMAD to 2MAD because it would be too much at one seating? I'm just not sure. I know that I eat until I'm mostly full, and then I, push myself away from the table, and I know that it's going to take 10, 15 minutes for me to get the satiated full message in my brain, because that's what's telling me to eat. And it's taking the message from my belly, obviously. And so Just curious if any of you have ever done that. And I don't mean by adding, 12 ounces of mineral water after you eat. Some of them say that you shouldn't drink an hour before, during, and an hour after you eat. So your body, your digestive system just has its own juices that begin to digest and process where everything is going. I don't know enough about the mechanics of it, but that makes sense to me. I don't drink water. I know that I don't drink water before I eat, and I don't drink water while I'm eating. But there are times, especially after my pizza, my carnivore pizza, that I want a slug or two of mineral water just to tamp down that. Maybe it's the sodium signal. I don't know, but usually there's no water in my um, in my intake from an hour before I eat and an hour after I eat. So all that time I'm other liquid free. OLF. OLF. Not that you need to remember those initials. That won't be coming into our barnyard. I'm Ulf. How about you? Can you imagine how many times I'd have to explain that? So yeah, so then somebody sent me to start at page 93, but actually I started at page 95 of Sean Baker's Carnivore book and just read about, the amounts and where to begin and how much to have and what it might do for us. And I feel at my age that I had so many years of the standard American diet. That's all I knew. I mean, decades of it. I was babysitting at a young age, like 9 or 10, and I was eating the CRAP that I could find in the homes of where I was babysitting, in the cupboards, and they always had plenty of it because we were all, I mean, I wasn't much older than the kids I was watching. God, they were crazy to trust me. I was just a kid. But I was parentified, as they say in the ACOA, Adult Children of Alcoholic circles, because I was definitely taking care of my parents at that time. I began driving at 14 and never looked back. I figured a sober 14-year-old is better than a drunk 45 or 50-year-old, right? And drunk they were. So anyway, so I was, eating standard American diet, throw in an S, snacks, all day long. I mean, if I was awake, I was eating. I was just a Hoover. So if I babysat for these people during the day, it was a day full of like what's in the cupboard, what kind of snacks. Oh, you're going out shopping? Oh, yes, I can babysit tonight because I figured she'd come home with more snacks, right? And then, even in the early food plans, also known as diets, I was having tons of snacks. That's just, the theory is that you just keep putting another shovelful of coal into your tummy to work. It's just like a constant, it's being fed. You've got this constant source of energy, and maybe with the standard American diet, flour, sugar, fruit, treats, that's what you needed all day long. So you didn't have that. Whoop, boom. Who knows? I mean, I'm no longer 15 eating all those things in sight. And I think I said Hoover a while back. That's a vacuum cleaner from way back when. I should say Dyson. Right, Mike? So anyway, now, I eat that one meal. It's mostly meat. Sometimes I have eggs and or cheese with it, but it's mostly meat. Last night was my messy burger, and it had a slice of organic pepper jack cheese on the inside, and then I put one on the outside. Those are from Whole Foods. And then I had half of a strip of bacon and half of a hot, spicy Italian sausage, and that was my meal. And it fit on my Fiesta salad plate. Probably would have fit on my Fiesta bread and butter plate, but I use the same plate pretty much every day. And tonight will be pizza night. I've already made the crust. So anyway, have any of you intentionally added more ounces of protein to your food plan to see if that stimulated a weight loss. This woman that I'm referring to lost 120 pounds. Now she's much younger than me and a lot of you. So is that the difference? I don't know. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not, by the time, before they lay me to rest, I want the answer to this. I'm just kind of curious because in comments over the months I've been carnivore and had that slow less than a half pound a gain each month, I've kind of wondered, am I eating enough? I don't know. But I definitely know that I was malnourished all those years. I really didn't get into the supplements. I probably took a few when I was Weight Watchers like 6 years ago. But definitely during keto, anytime a person supplement, I'd write the name down, research it on Amazon, and more times than not, I'd press the submit order. I did not fall for Dr. Berg's overpriced stuff. I tried to find comparable things on Amazon, and I did, and I used them. And now I have a wooden tray filled with supplements I probably will never take anymore. Once I started to think, well, what are these things holding these pills together and dyes and processes they put all this through? Is there anything that's bioavailable by the time they add the starch and whatever color to make the pill white, or the capsules that are sitting in whatever the capsules are made of? Does your body really like those, digest those? You start asking all these questions. What's good anymore? What's safe anymore? What is not regulated anymore? And I think those are called supplements. I don't think the FDA has to regulate them. So just beware as you're popping things. Maybe try to find a carnivore person that stopped taking their supplements where they answer the why. And just to know. That's what I tell people about oxalates as well that are still doing, keto, or even plant-based people that love their almond milk and their spinach. Watch a few Sally K. Fallon. It's 3 hours long, so it's taken a while. But it's this man from Germany who speaks both languages, English and German, and he's interviewing Elliot Overton, Overton, and it's 3 hours of oxalate talk, and it is fascinating. And it definitely complements Sally K. Fallon's oxalate interviews too. But he goes more into a lot of the, mechanics of it all and what it does. He's a doctor and he's just spent years focused on oxalates. It's fascinating. And so I think it's a well-kept secret. I think it's intentional of the food industry. And it's so funny because I know that when I found almond milk, I thought I died and went to heaven because I wasn't a cow milk person. I just didn't understand that after I became an adult. And so, but I loved my grain cereal, right? And so it was like the answer. I can go back to my Kashi cereals and have my almond milk and my banana. Just a pouch of things that you're not supposed to have, while I'm packing my spinach salad for work with crumbled bacon in it, just it's funny what we're so used to, and we think that these things are good for us, and then it's like, I'll never forget when Carno Mad Mike said, be careful of oxalates, and I wrote back, oxalates, OXYLATES, and he said, well, first of all, you're spelling it wrong. So obviously I had a long way to go in educating myself on what oxalates were. But if you're not familiar with them and you're still doing your keto lifestyle, just be aware. Just be aware. It could make a difference. Not having them could, I don't know. For me, it was that leg pain that I was ready to chop it off below the knee. And it went away when the vegetables went away, and the vegetables loaded with oxalates went away. So fortunately, I tapered off before I knew that tapering off was probably a good idea if you were a heavy oxalate user. What person on a food plan or even your own journey didn't include almond milk and oxalate and spinach and a lot of veggies that have oxalates, but nothing like spinach. Swiss chard, maybe. And even those berries. So it's like we switch to berries, right? And we think we're doing the right thing. So we go and we spend ridiculous amounts of money for a few ounces of organic raspberries, only to find out they're loaded with oxalates. And it's like, wow, I thought I could have berries in season. But then you find out even those are dangerous. So I guess we're being led to meat one way or the other, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing my meat, sometimes a little dairy, meaning cheese and eggs. And the rest of the time, I do best. I become the most satiated with a good hunk of meat, maybe a pork chop on the side of that or ground lamb on the side of that. But I know that beef is what cures me, is what fills me up, makes me feel satiated. So I'm really glad you're here. Let me know if you've intentionally, charts and graphs and things like that, upped your meat and you found that the scale went down in a way that doesn't make sense. But then here we are eating just meat, right? Does that make sense? It does to me. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. See you the next time. Bye-bye for now.